Hey guys, welcome to week 16 vlog. My name is Brooke and this is Seed to Plate channel where we talk all things gardening and hopefully cooking at some point. We'll get there, I promise. But this week we are talking about the Florida weave, which is a tomato trellising method. Last week I went over my favorite types of tomato cages. I used both tomato cages and I'm going to be using the Florida weave this year just because I have a lot of different setups. So if you're looking for tomato cages or different trellising options, I will put a card right here where you can go see that video. We are starting this video inside because, as I'm sure you can tell, I am dealing with a lot of sinus. I have really bad environmental allergies to grass and mold, both of which are like marked red high right now in Austin, Texas. So I sound like garbage, but I still wanted to take you guys on the adventure with me this week of figuring out my trellising system for the Florida weave. My place that I put my wooden stakes in needed a lot more stability. So I've gotten some buckets and some Quickcrete, and I'm literally gonna make concrete buckets, bury them, and that's how I'm gonna make everything stable. Because I live in a rental house, so whatever I do needs to be able to be undone. So what I'm gonna do is I'm actually going to front load this video with me weaving the plants and actually supporting them, and then I'm going to just do a time lapse of me quickly concreting in the stakes and then burying them because there's no reason for a tutorial on that. And also I'm not like a professional at construction or anything, so I'm not really sure that I'm the person to give that, but just kind of wanted to explain what I was doing because as I'm outside working, I'm actually going to be wearing a mask to try and stop any more pollen from coming into my body. So yeah, I will catch up with you guys at the end of this video to explain to you how I weave the plants together to support all of them. They're getting really, really big. Hey guys, today I'm going to show you how to do the Florida weave. So I've already done one, which you can see I have done. I call this Tomato Alley. It's a little bit of an experiment that I'm doing where I'm growing the same types of heirloom tomatoes in 20-gallon grow bags that I'm growing in a newly established in-ground bed. So because I have these all in a row and they're getting pretty big, I need to trellis them up. Cages can be pretty expensive, so I decided to go with the Florida weave. You'll notice I have a stake here, and I don't think you can see the stake here, but later in the video I'll talk about how I stabilize these stakes. They're just like $4 1x1s, and I think they're 8 feet tall. I basically just Quickcreted them into buckets that I lowered into a hole and then filled back up because I needed a way to stabilize them. So I'll show that process a little bit later in the video, but wanted to show you guys the Florida weave first. Hey Lana. So things you need for the Florida weave to do for trellising, you're going to need some kind of string. So this is just cotton kitchen twine. You can use things that are more, equipped for the outdoors. I think this is fine for one season. It shouldn't get too beat up to where it doesn't hold. So the one thing you do want to make sure you do with the Florida weave is your stakes are really stable, and then you want to make sure that your string is tight, but not so tight that it's going to hurt the stem of your plant. So basically the Florida weave is really simple. You're going to do figure 8 weaves with your cotton twine like this with the plants as they get bigger. So I should have done this when the plants were pretty small, but I didn't, so here we are. Just be really careful when you're doing it, if you're doing it when the plants are a little bit bigger, so that you don't ruin any of the lower leaves or any of the blossoms that you've created. So be very gentle, and yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and show you how I do it. I make sure to tie one end of the string on one stake, and then you want to weave in figure 8s all the way down, make a loop, and then weave all the way back and make a knot. So I am going to show you how I do this.
and hopefully it's gonna make some of these plants a little bit straighter, like especially this guy. This guy really needs to be more supported like this. Okay guys, and that's how you do the floor to weave. So I'm probably gonna do just about one more layer. You want to do it like every 6 inches or so, and then as the plants grow you just want to make sure that the plants aren't running into any issues in terms of like getting choked out by the string. You don't really want it to be so tight that it's going to hurt the plant, but you want it to be tight enough to where it's actually going to have some support. So I can already see this plant back here that I pointed out earlier. It's already standing a lot straighter, which is good. And I'm just gonna go ahead and keep these bamboo stakes that I've already got in them, supporting them, just because it makes me feel like there's a little more support. So I'm just gonna keep those the way they are, but the floor to weave is really easy, especially if you're looking for a cheap solution. I think these 1x1s were about $5 a piece. My buckets were about $3 a piece, and the Quickcrete was maybe $10. So it's definitely a lot cheaper than buying tomato cages, which can be like $5 a piece. So I've got 10 tomatoes here. So if I were to buy tomato cages for each one of these, it was going to cost me $50. And indeterminate tomatoes can get up to 10 feet tall, and most tomato cages you get are only going to be like 5 feet tall. So really this is going to allow for like maximum growing room and also maximum stability. Thanks so much for watching today's video about tomato trellising and the floor to weave, and I hope you find a tomato trellising system that fits you and your needs and your space the best, no matter what it is. But I've got one more floor to weave to do on these tomatoes before I am done trellising my tomatoes. Hey guys, how's it going? I'm out here installing these concrete buckets with the posts in them, and yeah, they settled overnight. I was able to stabilize them against the house so that they could set like, you know, straight up and down, and they weren't all bent or anything. So I'm pretty happy with how this turned out, and because we're in a rental, once we decide to move out someday, we will be able to just pick up these buckets right out of the ground and move them. And so it's not a permanent solution, but it is far more stable than it was, and I'm pretty confident that a strong wind is not going to take this thing out of the ground and ruin all my plants. So hopefully it works out. I just want to caveat that you should always call before you dig 811. In our case, because we have a rental house, we have a little bit of an older rental house, we actually have natural gas and electric here. You should always call before you dig. It's very important, so you don't break a natural gas line, so that you don't accidentally cut the electricity to your house, or even hit like a water pipe. So just be very aware. Call before you dig. I feel like I have to be responsible and tell you guys that, just so that nobody has any issues. So Hey guys, so I realized I totally forgot to film an outro for this video, and so thank you so much for watching. If you like what you see, please subscribe, like this video, comment. I really have enjoyed the comment section of a lot of my videos. There's been a lot of knowledge sharing, and I just think that's incredibly important for gardeners. So thank you so much for watching, and happy gardening. We will see you next week.